This episode of Crystal Clear was sponsored by Squarespace.
Welcome back to Crystal Clear! I'm Oshrik Vox, and the diamonds continue to contribute to Steven Universe's immense cool factor with its lore and world building. The episode Homeworld Bound equipped the diamonds with brand new abilities, which are the inverse of their signature moves, that, as all things Steven, can also serve a much greater meaning and commentary towards the themes of the narrative. In this case, Steven's mental health. So let's run through each of the diamond's new abilities and break them all down, from both their full potential in the world of the show, and how many fans have interpreted the meaning behind each power. Of course, spoiler warning. If you did not finish Steven Universe Future, please go do so, do yourself the favor, and then come back. With all that said, let's dive in. As stated in the beginning of this video, the new abilities of the diamonds complement Steven's own. They're the opposite of what everyone's familiar with. For Steven, instead of developing defensive powers, he now harbors a handful of destructive, offensive abilities. Those that don't help and heal, but damage and destroy. So for the diamonds, instead of using their abilities to oppress, dictate, and control, their powers now service others as well. And let's just start in the classic order of how the diamonds appeared in both the episode and in the series, starting with Yellow Diamond, whom instead of destabilizing gems with bolts of lightning, now can stabilize, as she's now able to permanently alter any physical form. Now, when this was said in the show, I could only think about her role in corruption. Long-term viewers of this channel know that when dissecting the initial powers of the diamonds, I claimed that their form shifted to an animalistic state due to Yellow Diamond, which was further backed up in the episode Lecture to Homeworld, as Yellow's attempt at healing Senti was at the very least able to shift her physical form back to that of a standard Nephrite gem. I imagine this entire scene was used as a building block when the time came to develop the final episodes, since Yellow was more or less doing the exact same thing here. It was just a matter of her trying and putting in the effort. But yes, Yellow can either alter a gem's projected body as a whole, as shown with Flint, Steven, and later Garnet, or she can just alter certain body parts, as shown with Spinel's arms and legs. Now, Garnet already demonstrated one of the best uses for this ability in combat, being able to alter one's size when facing against a larger enemy, although in their case, they were all trying to hug a gigantic kaiju Steven, but I feel like another great use of this ability actually doesn't relate to combat, but with communication. I feel like in a lot of ways, Yellow can use this power to strengthen bonds between other gems. For example, if two gems hit a bumpy spot in their relationship, let's take a small gem like a ruby, and then a larger gem like a topaz, and the smaller gem feels like they aren't taken as seriously because of their height. Well, let's say Yellow pulls these two gems aside and ramps up the skill of the ruby to match the topaz. These two gems will be able to communicate with each other and work out their problems while being able to make direct eye contact, looking eye to eye, and standing on equal ground. Or let's say that topaz willingly shrinks down and has to live dealing with being at a ruby's height for a day. This allows gems to walk a mile in each other's shoes. That's kind of beautiful, but let's look at the real world implications and how a lot of fans felt this episode was trying to convey Yellow's new power. Essentially, when it came to Steven's struggling mental health, Yellow's power was akin to modifying your appearance. Steven not seeing a change in scale as a viable solution because changing the way he looks on the outside won't fix the way he is feeling on the inside. Now, do not conflate this with changing the way you look on the outside to match the way you feel on the inside. That's everyone's natural born right. The thing with Steven is that he didn't want his powers to grow out of control, but he didn't know how to control them. He didn't know where to start. As he told Greg, he was unsure of who Steven Universe even was. So the gem equivalent of giving himself a new haircut, it wasn't gonna fly. Next, we have Blue Diamond, who has, by far, the funniest ability. Instead of using radiated pathokinesis to make others around her feel misery and bawl their eyes out, Blue can now create clouds that, when in contact with another gem, will cause their mood to spike up and be as happy as can be. Now, my biggest question is, could she use these clouds, and instead of making others happy, could she shift the emotion to make them angry? Or maybe really nervous? What about hungry? Or would those manifest in a different material, a different substance in the cloud? Imagine angry rain. Well, I guess the Owl House has that covered, but the real world implications for this ability is pretty on the nose. Can we just put up some Snoop Dogg beats B-roll? Yeah, keep it right there. Blue Diamond is getting blasé-blasé. Okay, this may not be the exact interpretation, but the two biggest things I've seen thrown around is that yes, Blue Diamond's clouds are akin to the sticky icky, or something that should be presented a bit more grounded and a lot less memey, antidepressants, essentially conveying that substance abuse or prescribed medical drugs won't be the fix-all for how you're feeling. Now, I can't really speak for antidepressants. In my experience of mental health and being diagnosed with depression and anxiety, I personally am way too intimidated to take that step, though I suppose I am grateful enough to be at the point where I don't necessarily need to weigh those as an option, but I would imagine that antidepressants are meant to aid you. They can help, but no amount will be the permanent fix-all. Your happiness cannot come out of a bottle. Again, I'm not in the loop with a conversation around antidepressants. I'm not trying to say objectively that they're good or bad. I have people in my life that it's helped, and I have people in my life that hate them with every fiber of their being. As Steven himself said, in his particular situation, they are not the remedy for him to feel better and have control over his powers. Last but not least, that takes us to White Diamond, whom has the strangest power. Instead of controlling others, she's finally letting people in, figuratively and literally, adopting their color palette once they take control. Now, I'm not sure what trips me out more, the fact White Diamond is just allowing others to puppet her body, the 2008 YouTube movie maker rainbow effects, or the fact that, unlike Yellow and Blue, White's power is absolutely vain. We get it, she's all about herself. But whereas Yellow Diamond is actually piecing gems back together and literally help them land on their feet, and Blue Diamond is at least helping gems feel better emotionally, even if it's just a short while, White Diamond's power seems to just come from a place of, yeah, I'm pretty great, now I'm going to strive to be better, but what could be better than allowing the others a chance to be me? And it's true. I'm sure for a lot of gems, the chance to be a diamond for a moment, and as White said, giving them a voice, I imagine it's a cathartic experience. One that can benefit gemkind, but we also saw how flawed this ability is. As once Steven was in there and saw himself as a diamond, he attempted to smash in White Diamond's head, shattering her gemstone. Or at least, he thought about it, which in return caused him to act out the motions on himself. But imagine if this power fell in the wrong hands. If Bluebird got control of White Diamond, you think the diamonds are in the loop of what happened with them? No. White Diamond is kind of inviting any gem who can pretend to have good intentions to control her body, which they could easily use for their own mischievous deeds. Now, something I'm curious about is the ceiling of these abilities. For example, would Spinel controlling White also have been able to use her own abilities? Like, could she have made White Diamond's body elongate in any way, shape, or form? Would Spinel be able to use White Diamond's own power once she's in control? Could she, using White Diamond's body, control other gems? If a Ruby took control of White, could that Ruby use fire powers through White Diamond? What about shapeshifting or fusion? There's a lot of potential here with this ability, but none of it is good. And ultimately, I think the real-world implications of this ability, especially in Steven's own journey, is that you cannot deny who you are. Steven interpreted this in the worst way possible, but if someone was having problems, they couldn't just hijack someone else's life, assume someone else's identity. You have to embrace who you are and not hide it from anyone. Even if you're scared to show someone that side of you. Don't live a false identity. Be the person who makes you happy, but that person needs to be yourself, whom you are on the inside. As long as you don't see yourself as an evil space dictator, and then try to slam heads through pillars. But yeah, White just has this knack to make everything about herself. Why go out of your way to change the topic about something else for your own gain? Why can't she just do something better with her time, like build a website with Squarespace? Was it subtle? I think it was subtle. Thank you to Squarespace for sponsoring today's episode. Squarespace gives people a powerful and beautiful online platform to create your very own website. It's how we built the current Roundtable site. You can add videos from YouTube, Vimeo, and Animoto, and add an image overlay to your video to improve your website's loading speed. Squarespace is able to authenticate your social media, allowing you to auto-post content to Twitter, Facebook, personal or brand page, or even Tumblr. All images and posts are optimized and tagged, so descriptions and titles will be displayed correctly. Create a powerful visual experience. Bring your website's background to life with a video of your choice. You can go to squarespace.com/roundtable to get a free trial and 10% off your first purchase, or just hit the link in the description below. But as always, these are just my thoughts, and I want to hear yours. What do you think? Out of all the new powers of the diamonds, which one do you fancy most? Let us know your thoughts in the comments below, or tweet your thoughts at RoundtableVids. And for more of my own thoughts, you can find me at OstricFox. We're also on Instagram. Special thanks to JANKYBONES for creating an awesome thumbnail. For more of their amazing art, you can find them on Tumblr at JANKYBONES, Twitter and Instagram at BoneJanky, and subscribe to their YouTube channel. Link in the description. Help the Roundtable grow by either becoming a member of this channel or supporting us over at Patreon. Link in the description. If you enjoyed this video, please do a like and subscribe to the Roundtable for more great cartoon content. Thank you for watching, and I hope you have an awesome day. OstricFox, signing out.